Hey all you yuckers and yummers out there, my name's Courtney.
And I'm Carlito.
And if you enjoy listening to Newlyweds Argue, then this podcast is for you.
Well, more specifically, we'll be discussing movies, books, or certain comics that one enjoys and tries to introduce the other to it.
And then find out the verdict of whether they yuck it or yum it.
You can listen to us currently on Anchor.fm and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hope you have fun listening to our podcast, Don't Yuck My Yum.
Welcome, everybody, to the Don't Yuck My Yum podcast, the podcast where my wife and I make each other watch certain things and we decide whether we yuck it or yum it. I almost said like it or not like it. Yeah. I'm the host with the most, Carlito Gilchrist, and with me as always is the other host with not the most.
You mean the more most?
No.
Extra most?
No.
The mostest of the most.
No. Yeah. Courtney Gilchrist.
What?
And today we have another special guest.
Yeah, we do.
He is very special.
He is, but we love him anyway.
Yes.
He is my baby brother, Jalen.
What's up?
And Jay is here today to discuss a mutual love of this film that we both
Anime.
Yeah,
film.
this anime film
Which was a suggestion from
Trevor.
From Trevor, our friend Trevor, who we're probably going to watch more of the movies he suggested.
Yeah,
He
Trevor.
suggested a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, Trevor sent us a list of suggestions that he sent to our Instagram page.
Yeah.
So now we have a lot of Trevor picks that we could go through. So we might make a whole segment out of it.
Yeah. And Trevor, if you're listening to this, you were right about Grave of the Fireflies.
You were right.
Yes.
But we realized it was necessary.
Have you seen Jalen, have you seen Grave of the Fireflies?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's part of...
Don't watch it, as Trevor says.
Don't watch it, but watch it.
It's
But
amazing.
don't
It's
watch
incredible. But don't watch it.
It's
the
so
saddest
good.
movie I've
It's
ever
the
seen in my
saddest movie in the
life.
world, and it'll make you feel things you never thought you
Well, that's
felt.
the point of movies.
I
Yeah.
know, so watch it.
But it will
don't
literally
watch it.
wreck you.
Just,
like,
yeah.
It ruined me last night. It's so sad.
When the movie ended, I think we just sat there for a second and just looked at each other and was just like, I think we're whole new people now.
Yeah.
I look at life differently.
Yeah. I think so.
And I told you, I was like, I've never felt this way after watching a movie since I've seen American History X, which you haven't seen.
I've not
But that's
seen
the
it.
only other movie I could compare it to where I just sat through the credits, was just like, what just happened?
What just happened? Yeah. Because I want to see all of Studio Ghibli movies. I love their movies.
They're great.
So I'm like, well,
They're beautiful.
I've got to watch
was one?
it. Yeah, it is one. It is
Yeah.
one. So
It's not directed by Hayao Miyazaki.
No.
It's
within the
another
studio,
guy.
so it's different. Like, if you're
Yeah.
just solely a Hayao Miyazaki directed film person, then you're not gonna watch it. But
you should.
But you should.
But don't
watch
watch
it. But you really should watch it.
I actually had the guy who directed it. I don't remember his name because it's Japanese and it's hard to remember. But I did see Only Yesterday, which was the other movie he directed.
Oh,
for
okay, yeah.
Studio. Have you seen that one?
I
It's
have
good.
seen that one.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I've only actually up to this point I've only ever actually watched anime stuff in English. But
Boo.
you two
Yuck.
have put me on to actually watching it in Japanese and just reading the subtitles.
Oh, it's so gross. Like, Jay, why do we hate that?
Strange.
Why do we hate watching it in English?
I don't know. It's not authentic, I guess.
It doesn't.
No.
It just doesn't fit, right?
No.
It just the voices don't match and
Yeah, I don't know. The translation's kind of weird.
Yeah, they do translate it differently.
Yeah, you have to Americanize it and just, I don't know.
Yeah,
Doesn't fit.
they'll say things differently to fit an American culture, but you want to know what they're saying,
right.
because it's all part of the Japanese charm.
Yeah, but I enjoy because when they're speaking in their native language and then the English translation underneath, it's translated exactly how they're talking in Japanese, but
in it.
yeah.
You almost can understand it, but
Right.
when you're reading it, you're like, oh, it kind of fits.
Yeah, and it's kind of strange because the way it's written, it's not how we would normally talk.
But that's what makes it magical.
Have we said what we're talking about?
I was about to, but you went into Grave of the Fireflies.
Well, people have seen the title of the
Yeah.
episode.
So we're watching Your Name, Kimi no Naiwa, as it's the original Japanese title. Yeah, I
You're
know.
really good at that.
He
Saying
knows.
stuff in Japanese.
You know.
I cannot. Well, I say some stuff.
Yeah, we do. You say itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu, yeah.
We say that every
say
time
that.
we eat. Every time we eat. Even in
Oh, really?
public. Yeah, he'll go itadakimasu.
Thank you for the food.
Thank you for the food.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're learning.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Jay, do you want to kind of explain what this movie's about?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I think it'd be really entertaining to come from Jalen's perspective what this movie's about.
I don't know. It's your typical like Freaky Friday, switching bodies.
Yeah.
But there's a twist.
But there's a big twist. And
So
that's,
who are the main characters?
Taki is the dude,
Uh-huh.
and Mitsuha is the girl.
So where does Taki live?
Taki lives in Tokyo,
And
in the
where's
city.
Mitsuha?
Mitsuha is like in this outskirt town. I don't remember
Yeah,
the
like
name.
a rural town outside of Tokyo.
Remember the name of it?
It's called
Itomori.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Made up town. Wish it was real, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
Can't go visit it,
Well,
even though it's
based off a
destroyed.
real town, I
It's
think.
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, why does Mitsuha and Taki? Why do they meet or not meet?
Meet win.
Yeah, meet win.
Yeah. Well,
What's going on with them?
they would wake up in the other person's body.
What?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they thought they were dreaming at first. Just, why am I dreaming as I'm a girl who
Yeah.
They're living a whole
Well,
other
yeah.
life. Yeah, and they're
I've
like,
never
this is
been
so
here.
vivid.
Yeah, these dreams are so real.
It's so real. But
So then they realize, oh, this is a real person.
they start trying to communicate while they're dreaming to the other person, like writing something down, eventually writing notes in their phone to ask the other person, like, who are you? Why
yeah.
is this happening?
I like the one that he writes in Mitsuha's journal, and she's just like, huh? Like in class.
Who wrote my book?
wrote this?
Yeah. But they could tell because people around them would be like, you weren't yourself yesterday. Like, you didn't do your hair, you were acting weird, you're talking weird, and all that. Didn't know your own name.
Yeah.
So,
So what starts to happen with them?
nothing really. They just kind of get to know each other. They're just
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, this is happening. We got to set some ground rules when it happens. You can't be...
Yeah.
Fondle
Stop
boobies.
fondling boobies.
They like
Taki.
But then every time he's in her body, he can't help but like
Yeah, he's
squeeze her boob. when
I
he's in
mean,
her body.
could you?
I guess. I mean, yeah.
It would be
Fair
tempting.
enough.
Yeah,
That'd be weird, man. So,
because it would just be a weird experience.
You just wake up, you look down, you're like, oh my gosh, boobies.
Oh my gosh, my boobs are bigger than they normally are. And they're not hairy.
And
That's what I
they're-
would say.
yeah. They're not hairy.
Not as hairy.
Yeah. I think it's, yeah, because then it's funny when she's wake up, she's like, oh my God.
I have to go to the restroom.
No, she's like, something's there.
Yeah.
She looks down and
I
she's
mean-
like, oh, something's there. She's like, oh no,
You never know. Like,
I have to go to the bathroom.
Could that just become like second nature? You wouldn't have to like learn how to use it. You'd just be like, I don't know.
I know. I mean, I think
That's
we-
getting too deep.
We all
the sign?
have the
Right.
same feeling, I think. I think we all get the same feeling of having to pee. It just comes out differently.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe like walking around, you'd be like, something's.
I don't know how you guys don't walk like cowboys all day.
It's just there. We're just used to it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, there's something dangling there, and
Yeah.
why does it be so in the way?
Yeah. No, you've asked me that before. You're like, doesn't it feel in the way? I'm like, no.
That's what I always thought with like girls. I was like, you guys just like walk really nice, like nothing's blocking. You're
Nothing's there.
you're just going.
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah, everything's tight, knit, and then close to you. Nothing's dangling. Well, until we get older. And then, they start to dangle, but that's a different story. Hi, Jojo. So Jonas is the doggy,
you
and
guys are the other
Josie.
one. They're the-
Josie's here too.
They're the podcast dogs.
They're the
for day.
podcast dogs for the day. Josie down. She's,
Called me.
I know. She's like, I want to be in this podcast too. Next, not today. So, I think the next question would be, what do we love about this movie?
Everything.
Everything.
The music, the visuals, the story, the twist.
Oh, the twist.
The anime, well, guys. I think I'm so used to. I haven't seen a lot of like recent anime stuff. Like a lot of the stuff I've seen is like Digimon, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and those are like older
Classics.
And but I didn't realize how old Dragon Ball Z is. It's from like the 80s,
Yeah,
and then
it's
it
old.
Yeah.
came over to America not until like the 90s.
Still going on.
I know. And then they still have the what is it? How do you say it? Is it Ghibli or Ghibli?
That's up for debate. I
Everyone
personally
says it's
say Ghibli.
Okay, Ghibli.
I think it's
But
because
I've
it's a
seen
G
those.
and we're American, so we say Gus to
Yeah.
Ghibli. But I'd have to ask.
You have to ask Miyazaki.
Yeah, Miyazaki. How do you say it?
Yeah. But yeah, so I've only seen like those ones, and then I haven't seen like anything kind of outside that. So But I have seen the other movie. We went and saw it in theaters, Weathering with You, by the same filmmaker.
Yeah, I made you come with me.
Yeah.
There was no force.
My arm.
There was
No,
no
it was
forcing
good.
on my
I
end.
had blackmail.
Yeah. That was good. So I was like anxious to watch this one for a while.
Yeah, I agree with all you guys. I think the animation is just stunning. Top notch, especially during the comet scenes during the festival when it's like raining down. Oh my gosh, chills.
Yeah. Well, so that's like the twist that happens.
Well, yeah,
So spoilers if you don't want to know.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, we're gonna
we're
spoil
definitely
it.
spoiling all of it. So y'all better stop it now before we go any farther. If you have not seen it, watch this. Otherwise,
Watch the movie
we
and
can't
then
be
come back
friends.
to this because we're about to spoil it.
Yeah, and I don't know how nobody's seen this by now, but I get it.
Yeah.
But you need to
It's
see
not
it.
everyone's taste, but it's like once you watch it, it will become your taste.
So that's the thing. Like the story's so unique and different, and we actually have it playing on the background right now.
Is that a
And
first for you guys?
and I'm just like,
think so,
yeah,
yeah.
which I'm just like, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this freaking animation.
TV probably helps.
The TV does help. He does have a high end TV.
Like even like the sun glares, like I
Yeah,
feel
like,
I
how
haven't
did
seen
they do that?
well done of sun glares, like through windows and everything. Like
Yeah,
it just
just
looks so good.
the details are insane. And I think I also like watching it because it just reminds me of like, actually being in Japan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this looks so real. This is what I remember.
Yeah, because you've actually been to Japan.
I have.
It's very lifelike.
It is. It's very lifelike. Like I know Studio Ghibli is known for its magicalness and like the fairy tales and fantasy and stuff that doesn't actually happen. So this is more like
It's
real.
realistic, but not.
But not.
It still has a fantasy element to it, but it's not like the forefront. of
The
film.
what would you say? Location is realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the location and Tokyo itself and like what they do and what they see, it's very real. I love the characters. I think it's really cool that they had these two teenagers be connected, not just for like, I guess, mundane reasons. It's like we're waking up in each other's bodies, but what's the but, Jalen? Not your butt.
He was trying to date another girl.
No, well, that is a bad.
That-
No, technically, she was helping him.
Yeah, she was helping him.
She was
get
helping
with
him.
another girl.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm using my
Yeah.
feminine powers to help you out and sew her cut skirt.
See, I actually thought for a second like she was a lesbian and she was actually liked her.
That's
I
not
mean-
even close.
I know, but like for a second I
I
honestly
think
thought
she just
that.
wanted to
No, she-
be in a
help him.
relationship.
No,
and
that's
so she was
just-
living through him because she was
Yeah, no.
really living through him.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think it's because she was a girl, so she was very sweet and nice and not coming on to her at all. So the other girl was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so nice. He's just treating me like an equal. He's not even
Right.
trying to get with me because she wasn't because she's a girl, and so they were
Look at
just
this
having fun."
beautiful thing he just sewed on my.
Yeah, look at this beautiful
Feminine
song.
side.
Yeah.
I am a girl.
I
Yeah.
like, after I saw that, I was like, "Dang, that's a good move." Like if
Yeah,
you were
what
actually a
is that?
guy, that's a good move.
Just
So-
act like friends.
No, like when the guy like rips her pants at the
Like,
restaurant.
oh, I'll help you.
Yeah, and he sews and he puts a little cool design on there. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was like
good move.
grass and a
Yeah. I
sun
was
and
like, cool.
You don't know how to do that?
you don't know how to sew scenery
Little hedgehog
landscape.
and flowers.
My dad tried to teach me and then I forgot.
Your dad tried to teach you to sew?
Well, he knew how to sew and then he tried to like. Well, he showed me like once, but he never.
Once
showed me
it's not
again.
going to be enough.
Yeah, no. But I wish I would have learned.
I didn't know
it.
your
Yeah.
dad was sew.
Home ec class or whatever.
Yeah,
was
we
sewed in
did.
that.
We did have a home ec class.
I didn't have a home ec class.
They didn't have you do home ec in high school?
Nope.
Did you say it was scary?
Yeah, needles and just go right through your skin.
What is home ec? Just explain.
It's like
that to me
learning,
real quick.
cook, sew. It's like, it's just
We
like
didn't have that.
stuff that everybody needs to know.
I think they just expected our parents to teach us that.
Yeah. They should, but most don't.
Some don't. Like some don't. I mean, some families don't cook like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what was the twist, babe?
I don't know, Jalen. You know, you said the wrong twist.
Oh,
The real twist is Mitsuha is
to go through the story like
okay. You do.
where they stopped like switching
Oh,
bodies.
yeah,
And
yeah.
He's like, well,
Yeah.
I kind of know where I was transferring to. Let me like figure out where she lived and try to go see her.
That's
'Cause he,
true.
like, draws it from memory. And
Oh yeah,
like,
he's a
he's
very
very
good
good
artist.
Mhm.
Yeah, he draws very well.
yeah.
He went to school as her and went around the town, so he kind of knew the area, and so he just went out and tried to search for it.
Yeah. So his friends came with him, and they're trying to find this town. And then they were in a diner because they're like, you know, we're giving up. We can't find it. And then as they were eating, the waitress comes by. She's like, oh, that's a really good drawing of Itamori.
Yeah.
And then
It's
she's
you
like-
know where this is?
Calls her husband over because he was from there. And he's like, yeah, it's really good. And then Taki freaks out. He's like, wait, what?
Where is it?
Where is it?
So,
And they're like,
You haven't heard?
like weren't you here 3 years
This
ago?
part's like this part shocked me. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
I was waiting for this. Like as it was coming, I was like,
you're like looking at
looking
him?
at it, looking at it, and I was like, I need to stop because he's gonna know something's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they realized, or Taki realized that she's from the town that the comet hit. And
Yeah, so there's a comet that they talk about throughout the movie.
yeah, the
that's just
movie
gonna,
starts with seeing it.
Yeah, and then what you find out is that a piece of the comet had broken off.
Yeah, part
and
of the nucleus. It said
the nucleus. Yeah, and it destroyed the town.
It's horrible.
Everyone there.
Everyone
I think it was
there
like, what,
They were
died.
at a festival.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
It was like over 800 people. I think they
The
said.
town's not very
500.
big.
Yeah.
So
It's-
it was most
It's,
of them.
I think it's like, yeah, most of them die.
Especially because it was a festival that night that everyone would go to.
Right.
Yes.
So everyone was gathered there. But yeah, that's like the big twist is that she's dead. She's been dead technically for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
So
they
why
weren't
is
even
it-
in the same time
No,
period.
she's
No.
3 years behind him. But what's crazy, I think this got me when I watched it the first time, was she actually went to go see him, and the cord that he wears on his wrist,
Yeah.
he got from her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't remember it.
He didn't know her. He never
He didn't knew
met her
her.
yet.
Yeah, because
She knew him, but
met him
because
3
they
years
were-
earlier.
But he was 3 years in the future from her. He hadn't met her in her present
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So the cord that he's wearing in his time is the same one that she puts in her hair.
Yes.
Which I think I read on IMDb. It said something like that's supposed to represent. It's like an old Japanese
That's fate. Yeah.
fate, like that.
The cord
that
of
connects
fate.
people. Yeah, through
Yeah.
fate. That's like what it symbolizes.
Yeah, which I like. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. But that was like, oh my gosh, like she went to go see him, and then that
Found him.
she found him like
And
randomly
she's like,
in a subway.
why don't you know me?
Yeah. Do you remember me? And he's like, no. Who are you? And then she's like, oh. And then he's like, what's your name? And she's like, Mitsa, and all this stuff. But then like and throws her cord, to him, and he grabs it. And she's had it. And then that girl that he went on a date with, she's like, oh, I love this. Is really cool. What is this? He's like, oh, someone gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who was
I
that?
don't remember who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I was like, oh my god, they've been connected this whole time.
yeah, it's wild that it was a 3-year difference, and they both met he hasn't met her.
Yeah.
Well, he did, but yeah.
Look at that water.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that water in the movie. That is crazy.
Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, you guys need to watch this.
It's like a Bob Ross painting times a million. But yeah, it's also, you kind of find out that like the reason this is happening is because it's like a thing that happens in her family.
I think it was a mix of like, because her family works at a shrine. They're like
Yeah.
shrine maidens. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do, because you do see this scene where her and her sister do this shrine ritual dance, which is cool.
They make sake.
Yeah, they make rice chewed sake, where they chew the rice, make a liquid, and then they save that and ferment it, and that makes their sake.
So they literally chew up the rice and then they spit out the liquid and then they ferment that.
Yes, it's
That is
so
literally
nice.
what it is. Like, it's like, in some of the characters are like, oh, it's kind of gross, but it's like,
Like,
that's-
oh, how embarrassing!
how it was made.
That's
That's
how
how
it was
you-
made. That's
yeah.
how you made it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, at the beginning, you see them do that dance, which was cool. So I think her family kind of always had maybe like a spiritual connection, because her grandma makes a comment. She's like, oh, I kind
Who
of,
are- no, like
yeah, like she,
you're not Mitsuha.
yeah, you're
Who
not
are
Mitsuha.
you?
Who are you?
Yeah, so it's like, does grandma know?
Oh, she goes, Mitsuha, you're dreaming right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because,
We think. Well, it probably. I don't remember, but she's probably had the same experience. But
Yeah.
once it's done, you have no memory of it.
like a dream, you don't really remember your dreams
Yeah.
after you wake
Yeah.
up.
So it's like, what happened? Where was I? What?
Yeah, because she even kind of made a comment. She's like, oh, I think I did this at your age, but I don't remember whose life I was going
Yeah,
into.
I forgot.
Yeah, so maybe her mom did it too.
Yeah.
I think so, and
they
that's-
hint at.
Is that why she died? I can't remember.
No, I think the mom just died because she was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, everybody's like, oh, it's cancer. So
Right.
we're just going to assume it's cancer.
Oh, and the other thing is her dad, Mitsuha's dad's
he's
the
the
mayor
mayor
of the town.
And he's
Yeah.
a douche canoe.
He's kind of a douche, yeah.
Strict.
He's very
Yeah.
strict. Well, he obviously was rightfully upset because the mom died, and
yeah,
he's like, I have no ties to this shrine. This was her family. I'm out of here.
He was done with the crazy talk. He's like, she died, done. Like,
Yeah.
stop talking about it. And I don't know, if your kid came up to you and be like, hey, this comet's gonna hit here, you're like, what? This is a very important festival. We're not.
Yeah,
we're-
how do you know that?
Like, I can't just listen to you about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard.
Well, he's a no nonsense kind of guy.
Yeah.
So he's not going to listen. He's not going to pay
How
attention.
would you know a comet's gonna hit here?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, huh?
But
What?
so what happens is after Taki finds out that she's gone,
Yeah.
what does he do? Does it?
to the sacred place.
Yeah, so when he was as Mitsuha one day, him as Mitsuha and the sister and the grandma went to this secret place that kind of like was in this like a crater
It's probably where
where the
meteor
first meteor hit.
Yeah.
Apparently, this poor town has been going to be hit twice with meteors. And so they had this secret place where they would take the sake
What was it
as
called
like
when
an
they passed that
offering.
river? That little like water.
The
area.
underworld?
Is that what it's called?
I think
they
she's
call
in
it
the underworld.
Underworld, yeah.
So that's like where their spiritual connection, I guess, was strong.
Yeah, and so they
And,
kind of are like paying respect by offering up the sake.
Yeah. So he drinks her sake.
Later, yeah. So he remembered doing that, taking it there as Mitsuha. So he's like, oh, well, this will be a way to connect to her because they call it musubi.
Yeah.
Everything's musubi. Like we're all connected through musubi is what they
Yeah.
talk about in the movie. And then so he gets the idea to find this place, go there, and then drink her sake.
I don't know if
So-
he
Drink or spit sake.
yeah, her
What if he
spit
drank the
sake.
sisters.
That's she's like, crap, I'm in the sister now.
Well, how did
Wrong
he know? 'Cause hers
sake.
was older looking, right? Had
think
more.
they were-
I think he knew
Oh.
because he was there, so he's like, oh, this was mine, this was
I
the
can't read
sister's.
Japanese. I don't know. I'd be like, which one's which? I don't know.
I know. Just drink both. You'll get one.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew that it was spit sake though.
No, he doesn't. He drinks it and then.
I know that she
Oh, yeah, she
freaks
wasn't
out.
there.
She's
Yeah,
like,
she
"Oh
finds
my
it.
god,
She's
you
like,
drank
didn't
that?"
drink that, did you? Ugh. That was my spit and rice.
Yeah,
He does though.
But once he drinks it, he like
Gets the
slips
Yeah,
and
he slips
knocks himself
back
out.
Yeah. So I was
then
like,
he
well,
goes right back to her.
yeah, and then
he's like, well, I have to save all these people.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
because he knows the comet's coming.
Yeah.
And he knows it's that night, so has to convince his friends. Which luckily they are great friends, and they're like, okay, we'll help
Yeah,
you.
Some homies.
Yeah, that is some
I know.
homies.
We'll,
Like,
we'll,
if-
we'll do some terrorism
Yeah,
to.
can you imagine if like your best friends came up to you and were like, or if one,
Listen.
yeah, like, look, there's a comet gonna hit town tonight. We need to cause some like larceny so that like people will
We
evacuate.
need to shut
Oh,
the
okay.
electricity down.
Whatever
We
you
need
say, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
Ride or die.
You gotta go cause an explosion. You need to make an announcement to the town to evacuate. It's
Yeah.
listen, this is real,
This is actually happening.
which
Yeah.
is exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. And
It's very stressful because like it's happening.
It's
like
on
the
the clock.
comet is coming, and they can't get anyone to leave. Which fair enough. Everyone's like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
yeah, they're like, no, it's not.
Yeah, the dad doesn't want to do it. He's like, this is crazy. You're
I
crazy.
know, you just want to shake the dad.
Mhm.
Like, would you listen?
I know, but it's like you just got to put yourself in their perspective. They're thinking like, what? No, that's not happening.
Yeah. But so then we kind of, what part was crazy was just kind of like this race against the clock of a time of this comet coming. And then he remembered, well, if I'm here, Misaha's there in my body. So he he goes back. Oh my God, look at that comet. Sorry.
Another big point coming up, when they were in school, they're just little mini hints, like Twilight. That is a very special time where you're like, is it just
the strongest connection,
to the underworld? I don't know, whatever. But so when he gets up,
I know it's hard to say.
yeah,
So,
him as her gets
Yeah.
back up to that special area, the underworld. They're trying to look for each other,
which they can like sense each other.
yeah,
But they can't see each other.
because it's almost twilight,
Yeah.
like the hour, and
Yeah. So once it hits twilight,
dude, they switch back.
they switch. They
Maybe because it's like a time thing, like nighttime they switch again. I don't know.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
But
So they switch back, and so they're in their original bodies as they should be, and then they can actually see each
Finally meet
other,
each
and they're
other.
finally together, knowing what's going on. And then
this time gap though, still like,
Yeah.
hey, you need to stop that comet.
Like, this
I
is
would
what's
love to-
happening. This
yeah.
comet is going to destroy your town.
yeah, he's like, I would love to stand and chat. And it was a very touching moment because she's like, oh my God, you're here.
You're real.
You're real. This is actually happening. And then he's like, yeah, this is all great, but something's happening in your town. The comet's coming. It's going to blow everybody up. But then he's like, okay,
How are we gonna remember you?
yeah, we got to remember each other because every time they wake up, they forget who they are, who the other one is.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'm going to write my name on your hand. Now you write your name on mine.
Yeah.
But it was so hard because Twilight only lasts so
Yeah.
long. So the minute Twilight end,
She's writing her name. She gets like one scribble down and
Yeah.
disappears. The
Just
pen
put-
just drops on the floor, gone.
and it goes complete
And he's
silent.
like, what? I won't forget. And keeps
Yeah.
like saying her name,
saying her name.
and
then he
forgets.
He's like, wait, what's her name?
It's so
It's
sad.
It's so disheartening. You feel so bad. You're like,
What?
no.
He wrote his on her hand, right?
Well,
No, remember?
I know.
No.
Yeah. He's like, I've seen it more.
You think he wrote his
You
name?
think he wrote his name? Poor thing, she's like running and she trips and
She's trying to remember
falls.
his name too. So
Yeah.
she's saying his name, and she's like
Forgetting
trying to
it.
get to the dad, trying to get the comment and everything, but still trying to remember the name. And she finally like looks at it.
Yeah, she
She
trips and
yeah.
it's a horrible fall. I'm like, oh my
eats it.
God.
But
I'm like, is she okay? She's gonna be knocked
but
out.
she keeps forgetting, so she probably decides to look at
She's
it.
like, oh, let me look at my hand because he wrote his
And-
name and it says,
I love you.
and it's like,
You know what I love? It's like, oh, that's so sweet.
so sweet, but I
It's
do
so
love.
You're stupid. I don't know your name now.
Yeah, I did like that. She's like, this is very nice, but this doesn't help me at all to remember your name. Like, well,
Yeah.
somebody loves me.
But yeah, then after that, she somehow manages to get everyone out of the town. How does it happen? She goes back to her dad.
I think what happened, we don't see it, but it just looks like it worked. She went back to her
she
dad.
went to her dad. Well, he went to her dad as her, and he kind of knew, hey, that's not my daughter.
Yeah.
Who are you? And
Yeah,
so
he did because
leaves.
he's like, who are you?
Yeah, then she comes back there as her and demands him to listen. And he's like, oh, wait, that's her
Yeah.
now.
So
What's
she must have said something to be
something's
like,
happening.
okay, let's. And then we find out that it did work out. The town
Probably
was
thought,
able
like,
to.
hey, if everyone dies here, that's terrible. I can't let that just go.
Yeah, was able to evacuate everybody
And I think
successfully.
the comet was looking a little sus.
Yeah, a little sus, a little suspicious.
Coming a little close.
It's like, oh, well, I did end up remember like the friends because they're running. The guy friend is running around trying to be like, everybody get out,
Yeah.
and then he looks up and because she told him that a part of the comet was going to break off, and he looks up and he sees it happen.
Yeah,
he's like,
he's
oh my
like,
gosh, she's right.
Mm-hmm.
It did break off.
and then he's like really yelling at people to listen.
Yeah, and then his dad comes in. He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, busted.
Yeah.
But then we go into the future. Was it 6
present.
years? 8 years? Yeah, the
Oh.
present, technically.
Yeah.
Remember, it goes.
Well,
It's
they-
like 6 or 8 years because
Yeah, a
he's
lot
like.
of time goes by.
I think they. How does
Because
that
this is
work?
where they're like about to
go
graduate high school. They're like leaving high school, so it's like they go. He's like already out of through college, and he's trying to find a job, like a real
boy job.
Yeah, a real adult job. So it's been like maybe it was like 6 years or 8 years since.
I think it's like 8.
It's 8 years since the comet hit, but it's been 5 years since.
3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's been 8 years since the comet hit, but 5 years since he had all the things. Since they last switched.
Yes.
Yeah. So they like went through college, and then he's going through like interviews.
And they don't remember each other.
No.
And they kind of think like, oh, it's just a weird
they
dream.
feel like something's missing. He
Yeah.
still has an interest in that town. He's like, why do I care about this town that got hit by a comet? Like, that's cool, but like,
But
why
do
am
they
I
care
so
much?
interested in it?
Yeah, at least they always feel like they're searching for something. And then you kind of get glimpses that, oh, things must have worked out and they got people out, because then you see her 2 friends and they're talking about
at a cafe.
at a cafe. And they're so good. And then they're talking about like
past each other, and he doesn't know them.
I know.
Oh, I know.
And they're
Every time
talking
he
about
does that,
getting
you're like,
married.
Oh, come on.
They walk past each other so many times. You're like, oh my gosh, we just look up. Freaking
If
umbrellas.
they looked at each other, they still wouldn't have a clue.
I know.
They even walk like right at the end. They walk by each other on the stairs. They look at each other and they still like walk
they
by.
see each other on the tram or train.
Yeah, the train. And they're like, huh?
And they're like, wait,
I think I know.
who was that?
Yeah.
And so then they try to get off
They're
and
like
run back.
running to try to
And
find
so
each
they're,
other.
like sprinting and finally get to like one's at the top of this long staircase and one's at the bottom. They're like, well, this is kind of weird. I don't know this person and I'm sprinting at them.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, I have no clue. I'm just gonna keep walking. And
Yeah, so
they're
they got a little
crossing each other.
awkward. They felt a little weird.
You're like, no.
You're like, come on. You get so
And then
invested.
they turn around and like,
The guy, Taki,
he's
says,
like,
have
can
we
you
met
tell?
before?
Yeah, but then the whole thing is like, what is your name?
Yeah, he goes, have we met before? And she starts crying, and she's like, I was thinking the same thing.
Does she have her ribbon then?
I think she is.
Because he gives it back.
He gives it back. Yeah, he gives it back.
Yeah.
So
She had it in her hair.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
she's
she wears
older.
it.
They were both
Yeah.
older, but she had it in her hair. Her hair was a little different, but had it wrapped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Give
they
it back
go,
to her.
what's your name?
What's your name?
And then you're like, oh my gosh.
They said the name.
They said the name of the movie.
Yeah, they go, Kimi no Naiwa. And they're, so good.
Do you want to tell your dad's dad joke from earlier?
It's not that good. He was just like, he was like, oh, what are you doing for the podcast? And I was like, oh, we're going to do your name. And he's like, my name? You're going to talk about me? And I'm like, no, Dad. That's the name.
That's the name of the movie.
Of the
Dad.
movie.
All the stuff's deleting.
Oh,
off the
yeah,
phone
this
right
part
now.
was bad. So when,
He's trying to remember. He's like, I have my conversations with her like through our
Oh,
journal,
no.
and it's just
And now
deleting
go.
in front of his eyes. Never happened.
it's so sad.
It's so sad. It's so sad, but then it gets so happy.
Yeah, but it's a happy ending because they finally meet in real time and they can learn about each other and get to know each other
Yes.
all over again. And
Yeah.
they're going to live happily ever after. I just know it.
Hopefully.
They will.
It's a good one.
It's so good.
Well, did I say if I yucked it or yummed it?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if you officially said it, but now is the time.
Yeah. I yum it.
Should've did the drum
about
roll.
throwing you off, but I'm like, no.
You're like, no, it really wasn't that
Why-
good. But
why would
we've
I?
been gushing about it this
I
whole
know.
time.
I would say, like, I think I liked this one more than Weathering with You.
You know,
It's
yeah.
way better story.
Yeah.
They're same visually. Like Weathering with You
Yeah.
is really pretty,
Yes, they both are
but
so
the story
beautiful.
is. I love the twist.
Me too.
The twist is great.
It's like,
Like,
yeah.
oh, 3 years, she's dead. What?
Yeah.
How is this happening?
A good twist, I always think a good twist comes, like, halfway in the story, you know? It's not, like, at the end. Like, at the end's, like, cool, but, like, I always think, like, good ones, like, halfway through.
And that I always see like the twist coming. Like Megan can contest that.
Did you see this one coming?
No, I did not.
Oh.
It got me.
How can
That's
you?
That's saying something, y'all. Like you
You
don't
really
know,
can't.
but
I
my
always
brother
know
knows
what movies are
everything.
happening,
Like
yeah.
he picks up on everything. If it's something gonna happen, he's like, oh, this girl's gonna die. boom, she dies. Like, he knows
that's
it.
the brother.
Yeah, oh, that's the brother.
like, what?
Yeah, like, how do you know this? But he did not know this twist.
That's refreshing. Well, the thing is, like, the whole up until that point, the movie's played so like comedically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of quirky and funny because they're like,
Expect
they're
that.
getting so annoyed with each other because they're ruining each other's lives. Like, stop making me look like an idiot.
Yeah.
And
Wasting all my money. Quit going to the cafe and buying
Yeah.
steak dinners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just spending all his money. I keep working.
Yeah. You work too many shifts. Well, you just keep spending all my money.
yeah.
Yeah. That's,
So it's funny, and then it gets so dark, but in a good way.
It's not like super dark.
It's not like
It's
dark,
not
dark.
You don't see people die. You just
No.
it's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just like devastating.
I
You're
guess
like,
it gets
oh,
just
man,
very,
no.
just kind of shocking.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
so like uplifting and happy, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
It gets back.
it's
around
just
to
like
that, yeah.
180.
Yeah, it is one. Then you're like, oh my gosh. I think it's just because you feel so bad for him because he's trying so hard to find her and find the place and know that was real.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
And I think it's like he starts to think like, did it actually happen, or am I going crazy?
Yeah, he
I
starts-
don't know anymore.
Starts doubting himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're like,
It's
just
like, no,
remember.
Yeah.
Did it happen? It's okay.
Yeah.
And then you don't know, like, now she's dead, then what, you know?
And like, there's no one who knew her
Yeah.
that he can go talk to. They're all dead. They all
Friends are
died.
trying to understand,
I
but they're
j-
like, is he crazy? Like,
Yeah. And I just remember because when they figure out, oh, Itamori is the place, that got bombed by the comet.
Yeah.
And then, but they had a book of everybody who died.
Yeah,
And
you
her
saw their
name
names
was in it, like in her
Everyone
friend's
he knew.
name.
Mhm.
He's like,
just
what?
like,
Like, can you imagine that? That's
Yeah, and
crazy.
his friends were just like, you probably just saw this on the news 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
all that.
He's like, no.
I've been
More than that.
changing spots with him. I can't really say that
Does
because
it say how long they were doing it before she dies?
I don't know.
You get the impression that it goes on for a while,
Like
like
a-
a few months.
I know they
Decent
said.
amount.
I know they said they would switch every
few days.
few days or like a couple.
randomly.
It was random,
It was
couple
like-
times a week.
It started sporadically, and then I think it became more often.
Okay.
I don't
that could
know.
work.
The
That
closer
could
they
work.
got, or the more they got involved in each other's lives and understood each other.
Yeah, I don't know what caused it or caused them switching or switching back.
Yeah.
It only lasted a day though when they switched.
Yeah, just a day. Because once you
Yeah.
go to sleep, then it reverts back.
All they see is wearing the bracelet.
I know. It makes me want it. I'm like, I want one of those.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it too hard, it gets too complicated. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
time, that's just time and space. Like kind of
Yeah.
thinking you don't really.
And if you really
understand
try
it.
to think, well, how is this happening? It's like,
You
it's
just
not
gotta
the point.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're along for this beautiful ride.
Mm-hmm. It's just it's like whenever you watch like a Studio Ghibli movie, like you just gotta accept it. Just accept the weird
Like,
world.
I don't know why
It's
there's
fine.
there's a cat bus and a no face guy and a dragon,
scarecrow that hops around
turns
and
into a prince and
Howl turns into a giant demon bird. thing.
yeah, you don't question any of this. You're just like, yeah,
Parents turn
that's
into
what's happening.
pigs
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that
kids
movie
and
makes you
dragons
feel a certain way.
river, and
Yeah, all good things.
the one old lady, she has like another bird that turns into like a little
Big Baby's the one that freaks me out the most.
I know. I
big
think
baby turns into a mouse.
Spirited Away is what we're referring to, and in it is this big old baby. And in the English, he's so annoying.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, if you
Yeah, that sounds just like
you don't play with me, I'm gonna start to cry.
I'm gonna break your arm.
Yeah. And she's like, stop, please don't do that.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, you bad
I'm trying to
baby?
get out of here.
Spirit Away is another great one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, it's wild.
I really like Howl's Moving Castle too.
I do too. That one's
But
great.
Weathering with You, don't they, Taki and Mitsuha?
Yeah, they make
actually
a
show in?
cameo
Yeah.
supposedly.
They,
They
You guys said they did.
Yeah, like
I
I think you see him
you see them walking
walk
together.
by, and you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like only people would like see this would know. Like Trevor mentioned that.
Yeah.
Are they walking together? Like it's like, oh, they're
They're all
together.
grown up.
Yeah, they're grown up and they're together, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice closure to the.
It is.
It's like, oh, thanks.
See, I'm a person who loves happy endings. I know there's other people that don't because they're like, it's not realistic. I'm like, well, that's what movies are about.
Right.
It's supposed to entertain you, make you feel good.
Feel happy. Yes, I understand. But I also like stuff that does. I like stuff that sometimes just ends too. Like, there's not really a good or bad solution. It's just like it ends and life goes on.
See, that makes me so dissatisfied.
You're
I
not
feel
satisfied.
Like I wasted my time. Like, where did these 2 hours take me?
This movie does a really good job at making you feel every emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You laugh, you cry,
You get angry.
you get frustrated,
You're
you
very
get shooketh.
But then I think it ends well.
I think it has a
It
good
all
ending.
ties up very nicely, I'd say.
Yeah.
I like when he's trying to like look for a job and his friends are like, I have 8 offers. And the other guy's like, I got 2. I guess, okay, I should have switched those. I got 2 offers. I got 8. That's better.
Yeah.
There we go. What did he study in school? He can't get a job, or is he just that
I
awkward
think
and weird?
no, I think it's like architecture because he's talking
something
about like I can design landscapes and I
you
wanted to
wanna do
use
something like with
Yeah.
civil.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He wanted to like bring the nature to the city and that sort of thing.
See, I'm pretty sure the shrine is like, that's also a crater.
It looks
Yeah,
like
that's what I said, it was
yeah.
So it's like this
You can see the 2. Oh yeah, and that's what's crazy too is like you can see like if you're in the past or presence with the craters and stuff.
No, I'm pretty sure they
This
did
was
say
where a
that
meteor
this
came.
town was hit by a meteor
And so they moved.
and that's how it created the town
Yeah.
or something.
The
That's how it
lake.
created the lake.
The
and
lake.
the town
Yeah,
was
it created
around
yeah,
it.
how it created the lake.
Yeah.
And then it
This
got
also
hit
is
again.
a crater. Where the shrine's at?
Well, it could be a couple holes.
Yeah. So I think it's probably like this ever-going thing where it's like there's something connected with
Crater
like that
history.
comment.
Maybe this hole was when the grandma was
When
doing the
last time
switchy
that
switchy.
comment showed? Was that a thing? Was that like a comment that was like, this is the first time we see it in how many years?
Oh,
can't
I don't
remember.
remember. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
But
That might have
I
been.
think it has something to connected with like the spiritualness and the comet and like what's happening, like
Definitely
switching
all
with someone
tied together.
Yeah, that is the theme of the movie.
Switching with someone's life.
No, it's all tied together.
Oh.
Everything's
It's all tied together.
everything's connected, like the braided
the
cord.
braided cord is tied together.
Like
and
it's
it ties them
and it
together.
connects them. Everything's connected.
That's
Did we
very
ever
good,
talk
babe.
about how they were cord braiders?
Oh, did we not? It was
I don't
part
know.
of their shrine. Is
Yeah.
they make those
sake and cords.
and braided cords, lovely braided cords.
Yep.
Oh, he's about
Which
to
is the
drink
one
it.
she gave him.
Yes,
So it was special.
it was special. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
when she's braiding that thing, I was like, that looks complicated.
See, that gave me such satisfaction. I was like, this looks so nice and neat, and I love it.
I know you like things that are neat and nice, and you love it.
All right, boys. Final thoughts?
Great.
It's good.
It's good stuff. I love it.
It's like,
I can't wait for the
It's
sequel.
better than good and all right.
I can't wait for the follow up. My name.
Yeah, yeah.
Their name.
Their
Sorry,
name.
their names.
Their names.
Their names.
Yeah, their names.
Yeah.
it doesn't need more.
No, this is good enough. See, because they have the comment drawn there, so it's obviously like
It
this
was-
is something that's happened many
Yeah.
times. This is cool.
Yeah, this was cool.
No one has any idea what we're looking at. Just watch the movie and you'll know what we're looking at. It's
Every
cool.
part
It's cool.
was cool. I think you'll just be visually, you'll just be in wonder. You'll just be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But thank
Watch
you
it in
guys.
Japanese.
Yeah, watch it in Japanese. Do not watch it in English, or we will find you
It's not terrible.
and we will cut you.
I've seen both.
I think I've seen both too, but I think we both said, yeah, Japanese is better.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever people enjoy.
Yeah.
You can't get past reading or the different language barrier.
Then I guess you can watch it in English.
Honestly, this isn't as bad. Inglourious Bastards is probably the worst movie to watch with
all in
subtitles.
German?
It's well, there's so many subtitles. The majority of that movie is subtitles.
Yeah, they speak a lot of.
And they speak, and it's like the subtitles are like long, like it's like because Quentin Tarantino is known for all his dialogue, and there's just like so much you got to read, and it almost gives you like a headache. So after accomplishing that, I'm like, oh, this stuff's easy.
Oh, yeah, for
You
sure.
get used to it if you like watch this stuff a lot, or
Yeah, if you consecutively watch it, it almost becomes just second nature.
yeah, and you start picking up words and
You really do. You start connecting the words, like when you hear it to when you read it, you're like, okay, that means that.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, what is it? What's boy? Taki-kun?
Taki-kun.
Taki-kun.
That's his name. Kun.
Kun's boy.
It's like a
It's like a term.
Term for boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Jalen Kun, Carlito Kun. And then for girls, it would be
John.
Chan. Yeah, Courtney Chan,
Chan.
Megan Chan. All good things.
All good things. Good stuff.
Well, thanks, Jay, for letting us do this podcast with you.
yeah.
Did you like it? Did you have fun?
It was all right.
All right. That.
Good
You know,
stuff.
that is a win.
That's exactly the reaction I wanted.
Yeah. For Jalen, that means yes.
Cool.
He won't give much more than that, but we know he means this was a lot of fun and I had a good time. All right, babe.
All right, you sign us off.
Oh, yeah, that's my job.
I don't do that.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Don't Yuck My Yum. Be sure to check us out on Anchor.fm or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We have an Instagram page, Don't Yuck My Yum Pod, where you can give us a like or a request of whatever you guys would like us to watch, just like our friend Trevor, which we will be going through those. Or send us an email at don'tyuckmyyumpod@gmail.com. And until next time.
Stop it at 444.
444. Bye.